I'm here to report to the people that influencers today will become obsolete soon. They say the wound is the vocation. This happens on an individual level and a collective level. There might be anomalies. Not everyone has a ton of wounds that become their vocation. Right, there are many people that are healed and working and operating from a healed place. But the majority, to include myself, are operating on a vocation that heals a wound. For example, speaking is a great way to heal never being heard. Never being heard. Or perhaps just heard by the wrong people. As we collectively shift into SON, a symbiotic abundance network, the current day influencer will become obsolete. This is because SON actually instantly exposes over consumerism as a consciousness tax, not an economic inevitability. So, we're going to discuss this. SON, a symbiotic abundance network, is being violated with the current influencer structure and system. In a SON, we have values that are flowing, where needs are met without coercion, that's without force, without manipulation. And contribution is going to be greater than extraction. To include, attention is going to be treated as sacred infrastructure. Our current day influencer does the exact opposite, and they drive consumerism with hijacking people's attention, converting identity into a sales funnel, and replacing self-internal trust with external validation. So, in breaking free, this isn't aesthetic, it's structural liberation. Let's discuss why the current influencer power is extremely absurd, but also extremely effective. It's working and operating on borrowed authority. Influencers rarely have domain mastery, long-term accountability, or any skin in the outcome. Yet, they wield power because humans have evolved to trust social proof, parasocial bonds bypassing rational filters. When we have a symbiotic abundance network, this reveals the entire cosmic joke here. A stranger with good lighting becomes a proxy for your inner authority. This is false. This is wild. Some of y'all might understand what I'm saying because, yeah, over time, a lot of these influencers, we've grown to like them because we've learned who they are. But just having a strong, heavy opinion on a product does not give you the amount of authority that they currently have. And they're going to need to shift their borrowed authority towards something of actual substance, not just product. We are now a people group, a society that overconsumes. So let's discuss about the manufactured desire versus real needs. So in influencer marketing, they don't solve any problems. They create a dissatisfaction first, and then they sell the relief. Your lips need to be juicier and plumper. I got you. Here's this lip plumping balm that I swear by. Or even the other day I did a product moment because someone asked. And if you guys go and look at that video, it was about some cream eyeshadow. I spoke on what I use it for, I spoke on what it is, and I spoke on the honest viewpoint of it, which was it's dry and cracky and flaky. You don't hear influencers saying it's flaky and cracking when it dries. When the eyeshadow dries down, this is going to crack and fall off your face. You don't hear people saying that. You're going to start to hear people being a little bit more truthful, not just the positives, they're also going to be more honest throughout the whole entire experience. They're going to have to do that because we are healing as a society and we're moving away from giving external authority. We're more and more we're going to be aligning with inner authority. So back to manufactured desire versus real need, influencer marketing creates dissatisfaction. Within a symbiotic abundance network, the economics asks one question: does this product increase system coherence? Is it necessary? Now, most influencer products actually add a bunch of clutter, they increase maintenance, produce short-term dopamine spikes, and also create disposal waste, not only mental but physical. Not only physical but mental. In a symbiotic abundance network, the negative net contribution, that's what they're focused on. So we have also as well identity hijacking, because influencers are not selling products, they're selling the version of you that has this, the lifestyle you're almost living, and belonging via a purchase. Within a symbiotic abundance network, this breaks this crazy spell of giving so much authority to people with a product, because identity is not purchased. Identity is found internally. Belonging is structural, not transactional, and status actually comes from contribution, not consumption. Okay? So once the identity is eternally and internally anchored, an influencer, their own power will evaporate. Now, all of my influencer friends out there, this is not to say, you're going down the trash into the shooter. However, this is to say you will need to shift. You will need to shift with the collective to not become obsolete. By the way, this is also going to be true on the grand scale of corporations as well. And corporations who are shoving identity and borrowed authority down consumers' throats are going to dissipate. Overconsumption is extremely anti-SAN, symbiotic abundance network, because it blocks resource circulation. With consumerism centralizing value of money, brands, attention, platforms, labor, extraction, we have symbiotic abundance network that needs local loops, durable goods, and repair use stewardship. So the influencer culture will accelerate in a one-way flow, and that's systemic death. So with a symbiotic abundance network, how products, goods, and services will more than likely work, it's going to be on a loop. Where, for example, with clothing, you're going to bring in your clothing if you want new clothing. You're going to bring in your clothing to the store, your old clothing that you're getting rid of. So you're never going to have extra pieces lying around. More than likely, you're going to have what you use, and then when you're done using it, you're going to exchange it. And it's just going to be a loop. You're not going to have things going in the trash or, whatever. Y'all know what I'm saying. The influencer culture keeps the consciousness busy and extremely fragmented. We have a completely distracted population that does not self-reflect, they do not coordinate, and they don't notice the system manipulation. They're starting to, but it's also systemic manipulation. So our influencer ecosystems are thriving on constant novelty with insecurity cycles and comparison anxiety. With a symbiotic abundance network, we require stillness, clarity, and internal authority. You cannot build symbiosis on nervous systems in a fight or flight. The current modern day influencer culture is replacing wisdom with aesthetics. Influencers are optimizing for virality, they're optimizing for aesthetic coherence, algorithmic favor. They're not optimizing for truth, longevity, system impact. With a symbiotic abundance network, we're favoring the quiet competence, invisible labor, and long-time horizons. Which is why all of our influencer culture looks extremely ridiculous from the symbiotic abundance network lens. It's a short-term signal chasing a long-term game.